Hello, I want to talk to you today about scaling beyond one-on-one services without burning out. And why do you want to do it in this marketplace right now? So if you're maxed at the moment, maybe with clients, you're running on fumes a little bit, maybe you're stuck at that kind of 3 to 5K mark and you're still not hitting your income goals because you're continually still trading your time for money. Now, the thing is, I am Kylie. I've been a business strategist now and an online business strategist for the last 5 years. And I see common things. A lot of people come to me and say, Kylie, how do I go from making, 3 to 5K to hitting that sort of 10, 20K mark, which is a sweet spot for growth and it allows you some of your time back. And I get asked this question all the time, and it always comes down to kind of 2 or 3 things that are going on in your business right now. And I want to talk about them briefly today. So the first one is most people are only working one-on-one. They have one-on-one services. They're either packaging specifically, maybe they're writing proposals if they're in marketing and things like that. They're doing bespoke things for their clients and customers. And there's no way of them moving from that one-to-one into the one-to-many format. So they don't have a scalable offer, basically. And I was doing exactly the same. So when I first got started, I was working done with you services. Now, I started helping people create and leverage online programs, which was amazing. I loved it. I loved watching people's light bulb moments go off for their realizing they could get paid for their zone of genius in a different way. But what I realized was I had actually set myself up into my own trap of what I was helping them get out of, if that makes sense. So basically, I was teaching them how to get out of one-to-one, but because I realized they were getting stuck with tech and design and how to actually bring their program to life and actually get out there and sell it, I'd created this done with you monster, which I absolutely loved. Don't get me wrong, I loved helping other people launch. I loved getting their message out. But I realized I was stuck in that trap of doing the one-to-one services. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm helping them create leverage, make loads of money in their businesses, but I wasn't doing the same. So I feel you, I hear you. I was in exactly the same boat. So basically, you're trading your time for money continually and you have no leverage. So there's no way of going. So if you think about it, if you're selling a 5,000 membership proposal or a 5,000 website proposal, whatever, it's great, but there's no way to leverage your time because your time is then delivering that service. Whereas you can't then go, well, actually, I could deliver a service to 1, to 2, to 3, to 10, to 20, to 30 and use the same amount of time, which is what group programs allow you to do. And there's various ways that you can actually do it. You can do it through masterminds, you can do it through mentorships, you can do it through coaching, you can do it through subscription models, all these different ways of delivering your services into a one-to-many format. Even just running an event means one-to-many rather than one-on-one. So again, it's another way that you can sell your services to more people without having to do more work. It's so important. So the first thing I see is there is no way that in their businesses they have any scalability at all. So my question to you today is, do you have a business that's structured where you don't have any scalability? Because otherwise you're just not going to grow. Simple as that. You're going to always be stuck or income capped at how many hours you have to work in the week. So that's one of the reasons. The second reason I see people get stuck in growing is they have no system for a customer journey. So they don't track their customer journey and optimize it for conversion. So if you're thinking about it, it's simple where you're taking someone from cold into buying from you. And most do not have a system. They rely on networking, they rely on word of mouth, they maybe rely on referrals because they're good at what they do, but they have no systemized process to grow. So we like to create things like assets where, we're just finished another book at the moment. I'm about to launch another book. We use books for leverage for assets to bring people into our business on a systemized process. So we know that if they buy the book, generally they'll want to do some work with us in the future. So we have a system and a process to take them through that customer journey. And the benefit of that is what happens is you start to get a repeatable process. So then well, actually, if I get 100 people into my book, I always know I get 4 or 5 client calls. For example, this is just, I haven't done the actual stats. I haven't got my stats in front of me, but just to give you an idea. So you can systemize the growth in your business, but also more importantly, you can optimize where you're going wrong. So for example, I've just worked with a client who is absolutely amazing at what she does. She's lovely. She was really good at getting people onto a webinar. She was really good at getting people to show up. But her sales calls, she was struggling to convert on her sales calls. So because we could see that and see the customer journey and see the statistics, we were then able to work on the problem, which was her sales call. So there was two things that could have been wrong there, actually. It wasn't just her sales calls. It could have been the offer is wrong for the type of audience she's bringing in. So again, sometimes the offer doesn't match the audience. And actually, we found that was the case. When we did some more research with her audience, they were struggling with the high level that she'd done in her service because they were still growing their businesses and their expenditure was very high. So we adopted the offer and now she's got 5 clients signed up. So again, but you can't do that until you track or understand your customer journey. So that's the second thing that normally I find most businesses lack when I talk to them, is they don't have a clear customer journey. They don't have a process to bring people in onto their list, into their world, into a conversion method that actually does some of the selling for them into their programs, whether that's booking a call or buying their services. So systems are so important, but it's more importantly looking at the customer journey. And most don't track numbers, they avoid any sort of statistics, and they don't like to actually see what's going on because they think it has to be this massively complicated machine, but it doesn't. Like I have an executive client that I work with. You know, her process didn't have to be complicated. She only needs to nurture 10 to 20 potential CEOs, leaders in her industry and her field for her to get the number of clients that she needs each year. So again, doesn't have to be a complicated system. For her, it was a simple spreadsheet. We were tracking off of a simple spreadsheet how many calls that she was getting, what she was doing from a reach out perspective. Was she building the relationship with them? What were the touch points so they could get to know her? Because a lot of her clients come to her when they're ready. So she needed to have peripheral marketing in place and different touch points. So she's always at the forefront of their mind. So when they do either switch a coach or they do decide they need one, she's the one that they go to. She's the in person they want to reach out to. Does that make sense? So again, sometimes your system is very unique and bespoke to you, but you need to have a customer journey system where you can track some of those numbers and look at some of the conversions. Now, she can still leverage that by doing a book, bringing people in, because again, CEOs, executives quite often will read a book. They see that as credibility. Again, they can bring more people into your world a lot faster to get those conversions. You can also do direct messaging and things like that as well out to those people. So again, there's ways to systemize and scale your process, but most people don't even have a basic customer journey. So that's the first thing I want you to think about. So the first one is, do you have a scalable offer? The second thing is, do I have a customer journey for that scalable offer? So is there a way for people to come in who don't know me, get to know me, convert and buy from me? Simple as that. Map your customer journey and the points out of what happens. Do that first. The third thing is your mindset shift, that you don't have to work harder, but you need a smarter business model. So sometimes it's not about how you work. I know most coaches and service-based businesses out there are passionate, they work hard, they love what they do, but they avoid the things that can actually help them grow because most of the time it feels daunting. Is it technology that maybe gets in the way? Or maybe they feel like, oh, this is going to be complicated, or I don't understand my numbers, so I won't look at them. And again, we get it. You're passionate about your gift, your niche, your skill. You got into business to help people. So, I work with a few therapists, and they got into business to help people. They didn't get into business to become marketers and or to do their accounts and things like that. But if you want to run a good business and you want to grow your business, you need to understand enough to actually make that happen. So that's the third thing, is the mindset shift. You don't need to work harder. You need sometimes a smarter model, and you need some systems and leverage along the way, because that's going to help you grow, especially if you want to break that 3 to 5K mark. I know when I got stuck at that a lot, it was because I had no systems in place. I was trying to do everything. I was wearing so many different hats, and I didn't really want to hire at the time. I just didn't want to build a big team around me, that sort of thing. So again, what happens is you can only do so much, so many hours in the day, that you stop yourself from actually growing and leveraging your time. So everyone needs some systems and processes, so don't avoid them, embrace them. And the benefit now is things like AI we're using can simplify some processes so much quicker than it used to be able to. So my call to action today is to think about your current business structure. Are you wanting to scale and grow? Now, that doesn't mean you have to build a multi-million-dollar empire. It might just mean you want that extra 50, 60, even 100,000 to do the things that you want with your kids and your family and your life. But if you're maxed out and you're always trading time for money, you're just not going to get there. So I want you to start to think about first, do you have a scalable offer in your business? If not, we need to get you one. Second, we want you to start to think about your systems and processes. Do you have some systems in place? What is your customer journey? Are you taking people through a journey and a process that you can track, convert, and optimize so that people know how they can buy from you? But more importantly, you know how much work you need to do to get those sales. Does that make sense? And then the second one is I want you to shift that mindset. You don't need to work harder. That was one of my biggest things. Ask anyone. I was always the hardest working in the room. So you don't have to work harder, you can work smarter, and you can create stronger business models that are easier for you to grow and scale. So I'm Kylie, I'm your online business strategist. There's more resources around this video somewhere. And also don't forget to hit subscribe. Come back, tell me about what your biggest pain point is right now in scaling your coach or service-based business. I'd love to hear from you.